Welcome. It's been a while since I haven't made a video, and this video will be about all the things that happened and how that has affected the polls, and also the forecast of the 2020 election. Let's get right into it. So, as we can see here, I have the 538 forecast here, which gives Biden an 85% chance of winning versus the 15% chance of winning that Trump has. This is also reflected in its forecast, where it thinks it will win Ohio and North Carolina, Florida, Arizona. But let's get right into the polls because that's really what has really changed a lot following the debate. As we can see, Biden is polling very high today on October 9th. He is currently polling 10% above Trump, which is his all-time high in the 538 polls. Let's see here, right before the debate, he was 7 points in front of Trump, and now, after the debate, he is 10 points in front of Trump. So this is very big margin, and this is very concerning for the Trump campaign because this close to election, he shouldn't be losing by this much. But let's get right into the state polls. Let's start with Arizona. Arizona, very red state before. Trump was leading this in February at the very start of the race. Now Biden is leading by 3.7 points. Now, Arizona was a state that wasn't too much affected by the debates. A little bit, for a 1 point difference is a lot, but of course, you can't really compare this to the national level where Biden has gone up pretty dramatically in the last week following the debate. So let's go into our electoral map, and since Biden was up by 3.7 points, in Arizona, it will be categorized as lean Democrat. Let's go to Florida now. Now Florida is very interesting because Biden was leading there by a lot, especially in Florida where the race is usually very close. But then the race tightened as we got into September, and when the debate happened, it was one of the tightest spots that Florida was in for Biden. And then right after the debate, Trump just lost a major amount of support, and Biden really gained a lot of support. This is at the time where I was thinking oh, Florida is totally Trump's is gonna win it, and now not too sure. But that will put Florida in the lean category. Now moving on to Georgia. Now Georgia, big surprise here because Trump has been leading very narrowly, but has been leading in the month and the month before the debate, and right after the debate, Biden got a lot of support and is now leading by 1.4 points. So still a tilt margin, but definitely close to getting to that tilt margin, over 2%. Now, moving on to Iowa. Iowa, just like Georgia, very surprising here because, well, Trump did win this state by 9 points in 2016, and the fact that this state is so close in this year definitely shows how, Trump is in a lot of trouble this year. But anyway, Biden has taken the lead. After the debate, Trump did get a little bit of a boost, but then that went down very quickly. And Biden is now the leader by 1.1 points, which does put it in the tilt Democratic column. Now, moving on to Michigan. Michigan, of course, a key state for Biden in the race for the White House for both parties. Actually, Trump would definitely love to win this state, and in some cases, he really does need to win this to actually get a winning scenario. But right now, Biden's debate boost really is a lot in Michigan. Over 2% of a boost, and now he's at 8.2 points, which is a likely margin, but definitely nearing that solid margin of 10 points. So interesting in Michigan. Minnesota, of course, pretty solid for Biden this year. He is leading by 9 points. The Trump campaign did say that they were going to go for Minnesota, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, according to these polling averages. Now, Missouri is interesting because Missouri should be a solid state for the Republicans, and it was for many years, but now we see these polling averages 5.6%. Remember, this is less than Michigan, which is categorized as a battleground state. So definitely some concern overall for Trump, especially since he's lagging so much in the polls in Missouri, which should be, well, an obvious win for Trump. So that will be put in the leans column. I don't know what's happening there. He definitely needs to fix his act in Missouri. Now, let's move on to. Let's go to Ohio. Ohio, a must win for Trump. Honestly, if Trump does not win Ohio, I do not see a path for victory to the presidency for Trump. And right now, Biden is leading by 0.9 points. Yes, he did lead a little bit before the debate, and has kept a little bit pretty constant, but he has lost a little bit of support. But since the debate, but this is a really concerning sign because, well, Trump really needs this state. He needs this state for the presidency, and if he's polling behind Biden, well, I don't know. He's gonna have to make up a lot of ground. Yeah. Now let's go to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, key swing state, battleground state. This is a must win for Biden, and definitely a big part of the Trump campaign's road to 270. Yes, they have other roads to take, but a lot of them involve Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania, with its 20 electoral votes, will definitely play a big part in this election. So the fact that Biden is polling 7 points in front of Trump, also very big debate boost from Pennsylvania, 2 points, almost 2 points of a debate boost. So yeah, definitely concerning sign for Trump there too. South Carolina. Now this I did not expect because this was a mostly likely margin for Trump. And that was surprising and all. It was supposed to be a solid margin, but likely is not bad. Now, right after the debate, this has become a lean margin, 5.4 points, very similar to what we saw in Missouri. So I don't know what he's doing, but if he's losing support in South Carolina and in Missouri, I don't know. He Trump definitely needs to clean up his act a little bit because he cannot afford to lose support in these states. Because if he loses support in these states, imagine how much support he will be losing in the battleground states. We could even see Texas flip at this course, and yeah, this is some very bad news for Trump. Now, Texas, been pretty close race for a must-win for Trump. Now I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is really the reality. Here, Trump winning only by 1.7 points. This puts it in the tilt column. Texas, the tilt column. Trump will never win without Texas. No Republican will ever win without Texas in this political environment. It's just not possible. The fact that he's polling a tilt is very, very concerning and, well, should be a wake-up call for the Trump campaign because so far nothing has really changed much. Wisconsin polling 7.3% for Biden. This is a state that Trump, if he wants to get 270, is a very common state that he wants to flip. But right now, 7 points. Again, all of these margins in the Rust Belt are within the margin of error. Even if the margin of error swings to Biden, Biden still wins by a pretty sizable margin. Yeah, this is pretty concerning stuff for the Trump campaign. Definitely, if I was the Trump campaign, we got to see Nevada and North Carolina. Nevada, 6.8 points. Very close to that likely margin. But yeah, again, Trump said that he would make actually, no, Nevada is not that important to his campaign, but it was definitely like at the start of the campaign, they were definitely pushing to be like, well, we're gonna go after Nevada, and this polling does not show that at all. New Hampshire, very close state in 2016. Now 10.7 points polling for the former vice president. That's a solid margin. Now North Carolina, if we can see that here, 2.8 points for Biden. This is a must-win for Trump, and so far Biden has been leading the polls. This is a lean margin in North Carolina. This is just all very concerning for the Trump campaign. Nebraska 2nd District, a lean margin. Yes, Maine's 2nd district is, I think, lean Republican, but that's really the only win that the Trump campaign really got this week. And yeah, this is all very concerning stuff. I've also been looking at Alaska and Montana, how they could be in the likely margin. Maybe they'll end up like South Carolina, Montana, or Missouri, I mean. You never know. Look at Texas. Tilt Republican. All very concerning for the Trump campaign. Let me just take another look at Pennsylvania, because I believe, yeah, wow. Pennsylvania no longer leans. It is actually now a likely margin. The Rust Belt is pretty much what the battleground is going to be. And Biden is polling likely margins. Frankly, I don't know what the path for President Trump is right now. Because if you take all of the lean and likely and tilt states and put it in the Trump column, he still does not have 270. And this map is going against all of the polling done in these states. So this would be a major upset. This major upset does not get him to 270. So yeah, it's definitely a concerning sign for the Trump campaign. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel and can see my other videos that I made. So go check them out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.